So what's good, homies? This your man, Dr. BOA. You know, it's one thing to be a regular man out here living a regular life and have a wife who's giving you the blues, disrespect you behind closed doors, but kind of acts like she knows how to act in public. So at least you don't have to deal with the public humiliation of being with a disrespectful woman. Even though I wouldn't suggest taking that behind closed doors either. It's something totally different if you're just the normal man out here living a normal life and you have a wife who disrespects you in public, who lets the world know that her ex is who she wants, who lets the world know that you are her second choice, if not her third choice, but not her first choice, who lets the world know that her heart belongs to another man, who lets the world know that her spirit energy is connected to another man. See, what we have to keep in mind is that if you are not her first choice, you are no choice at all. A woman doesn't have a second choice. She has a first choice and then the man she settles for. And we know what those two positions mean in a woman's life. Now, of course, we know everyone has heard by now that Jada Pinkett Smith has shown again that her love, heart, and spirit belongs to the late, great Tupac Shakur. But this time, she has taken it upon herself to publicly read aloud one of the handwritten poems she holds on to so dearly, even after all of these years. Will Smith is in bad shape, man. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. So, the reality of the scenario is this, man. When you are with a woman, you know if that woman really wants you or not. And one of the telltale signs is that you got to keep showing out and showing up and proving to the woman with your actions, with your words, with your deeds, and all of these other things that you are worthy of her presence. When there is a man who wouldn't have to do anything but show up. And we've seen so many instances of Jada Pinkett Smith letting the world know that she can't even speak on Pac without becoming overly emotional and hurting in her spirit. And that would be perfectly fine if she wasn't another man's wife over all of these years. They have adult children together, and she is still caught up on Pac the exact same way. No wonder Will's over here acting out. He probably hears her calling out Pac's name in her sleep. But it's probably happened so much, he just takes it as par for the course now. But who can knock Will for not having any desire for this woman? Let's take a listen to her reading this poem, and I want y'all to pay close attention to how at the end you hear this gasp and she cut it off. Why? Because her heart was hurting and her spirit was aching for the man she truly loves. And his name ain't Will Smith.
As many of you know, today is Pac's birthday. He would have been 50 this year. And of course, I went down memory lane. Over the years, Pac wrote me many letters and many poems, and I don't think this one has ever been published, honestly. He had a song called Lost Souls on the gang-related soundtrack, but I believe this was the original concept because he wrote this, I believe, when he was at Rikers. And I was like, I don't think he would have minded that I share this with you guys. Down on my knees, I beg of God to save me from this fate. Let me live to see what was gold in me before it's all too late. Pac.
Now, the first thing I want y'all to notice is this. How many times has this woman read this? She read it like she wasn't reading it. She was showing it, but she was reciting it from memory. No stumbles, no slip-ups, no nothing. That woman's eyes has probably seen this thing 1,000 times, if not more. She has memorized it, and she delivered it in a way where it was more than just a tribute to him. She delivered this as a tribute to them. Her and Pac, I mean. Now, I know some beta male semi Johnny gonna come in here and say,
"Word to the BOE. Pac was a great man, Dr. BOA. Pac was a great man, widely considered to be the best rapper in history by a whole bunch of people, Dr. BOA, including myself. Let me tell you something. Ain't nothing wrong with that woman reading 1 2 pop porn, Dr. BOA. The radio station gonna play a song, and everybody do all that on their rapper birthday, Dr. BOA. It ain't no big deal, Dr. BOA. Their hometown probably have a day for it. Ain't no big deal, Dr. BOA. Let me tell you something. You act like a woman ain't supposed to be a Tupac fan either, Dr. BOA. Let me tell you something. That woman probably love Tupac, but guess what? I love Tupac too, Dr. BOA. That's how I feel about Whitney Houston. Let me tell you something. You always act like a woman ain't got the right to marry one man, although she in love with another, WBOA. I've had plenty of women who didn't love me, WBOA, didn't love another man, and I still treat them like a queen. You don't know how to treat a woman like a queen. You know what, WBOA? Because you ain't no king.
unsubscribe. Okay, unsubscribe, sucker. Before you go, let me tell you this. There is no problem with anyone being a fan of anyone. That's why they're called celebrities. But when you're a woman who's been married to another man for years, decades, and you're still holding on to keepsakes from the desire of your heart, from the man of your dreams, from the one who got away, from the owner of your heart, and you publicly read it and then get overly emotional after, it's just another example of you telling the world and your husband, I don't love him. I love Pac. I don't want him. I wanted Pac. If Pac was alive right now and sent for me, Will would never see me again. My children are grown, I'd be gone. You cannot ever tap into the emotions of a woman who is emotionally tied to another man. You can never tap into the physicality of a woman whose body belongs to another man. And you definitely cannot ever tap into the spirit energy of a woman who is spiritually connected to another man. So Will has been married to his homegirl all these years. And now at this point in her life, you know, when women get to that point where they cross over on the other side of that wall, they become open and honest about everything. I recall an episode of the little show where Jada said, her and Will were talking, and she said she just didn't want to be who he had built them to be. The life that they were living was the life he built. The life she wanted was to be with Pac. And now that she can't be with Pac, what is she doing? She's expressing to the world that she wished she was. She's expressing to the world that in her dreams she is. She's expressing to the world that she's kept all of this emotional attachment to Pac bottled up just out of some kind of respect or loyalty to the marriage that she has with Will. But now at this age, she don't want to hold any of that back anymore. She's gotten to the point where she realizes that all the filling in that Will could have ever done would never measure up in a lifetime to one more day with Pac. This is the sign of a woman who would trade in her entire marriage with Will to have one more day with Pac. And now Will is tied in too deep to walk away. No telling how many things he's got the woman tied into. And at this point, he may be using the old beta male mantra that it's cheaper to keep her. But I say the only time a man says it's cheaper to keep her is when he doesn't value his peace of mind. It's never cheaper to keep her. If you can afford the cost to regain your peace of mind, pay it if it means you lose everything. Because with peace of mind, you get a fresh start with a clean mind. But in this scenario, you have a man who's dealing with a woman who doesn't love him and never loved him. And I'm quite sure he knew that early on. He's professed to being jealous of her relationship with Pac. Why? Because as a man, you know when your woman has more than just a friendship going on with another man. We know these things. You know when your woman is another man's groupie. Every woman is somebody's groupie. And your woman should be yours. And if she's not, there are going to be feelings of jealousy. There are going to be thoughts of, am I doing the right thing? And the moment you have to ask yourself that, the answer is already no, you're not doing the right thing. So now, after having 2 confused children with a confused woman and living a farce of a marriage, he has to wake up and I'm sure be tagged 100 times in an IG post with his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, not Jada Pinkett Shakur, once again publicly expressing her love and affection for the late great and gone almost 30 years, Tupac Shakur. Great poem, great read, and great way to cut off the camera before you start boo-hooing over the man you love. At least you did that. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.
Trying to become the most alpha version of you. Trying to become the most alpha version of you. Striving to become the most alpha version of you. Fighting to become the most alpha version of you. Welcome to the alpha sphere. Get money division. The place where you transform into a man on a mission.